Hi everyone, I'm more than happy to be here to talk about Julia language. I'm gonna give a brief overview about the compilation in the programming language. I promise it will be very quick. So the goals here is to introduce compilation in Julia language. The Julia language project started at 2009 at MIT with Professor Alan Edelman Group. Here we have a picture of the main creators of Julia language. So, here we have a short timeline of the Julia language development. The first publication of the project in a website was in 2012, and the first pre-release was in 2014 with the Julia version 0.3. The version 1.0 was released in 2018, and now, 10 years later of the first publication, we have the version 1.8.2. It is important to say that Julia language is an open source project on GitHub, and everyone can contribute. The first idea in creating Julia was to develop a language good for technical programming, because there are languages good for linear algebra, like MATLAB, and others good for statistics. The Alan Edelman Group thought, what if we joined everything in a single language? And they made it. Besides that, they also tried to think about the two-language problem, because sometimes high-level languages are easy to learn because of the syntax, but lazy execution. And the inverse is true for the low-level languages. Harder to learn, but faster to execute. Julia came to be easy to learn and fast to compile. Another very important fact about Julia is the name. Many people ask the four that created Julia why the name, and the answer they have is, it is just seemed like a pretty name. There is no special reason. So, the main advantages of the Julia language are speed, multiple dispatch, interactivity with other programming languages, and simple syntax. To see how fast Julia can be, let's see a comparison of a for loop in Python and Julia. If we direct translate this Python loop into Julia using any optimizations, we will see that Julia, in this case, is 1,000 times faster, but it can be more depending on how you implement optimizations, macro, and other acceleration resources we will learn together here. Now the explanation. Why does it happen? When you have Python, the code you run is interpreted, translated into machine language, and executed. Julia, as a compiled language, does not need all this interpretation process. This is all illustrated here. Also, Julia is not just compiled. There is just-in-time compilation in Julia language. What does it mean? Julia compiles code right before you need it. Here you can see what is happening in the compiler when you give an integer or a float as arguments of this function, and how the computational cost increases in the compilation process. We can talk in more detail about it in our other videos. The last but not the least topic I would like to point here is the multiple dispatch. It is very useful, mainly in numeric programming, because you can define various functions with the same name but argument of different types. Here the example shows the function test that can receive any of these arguments without giving us errors. So, Julia is versatile to applications in data science, machine learning, and linear algebra. Here, my personal site showing that Julia can also be applied to web development using Franklin.jl. And that's it. Thank you for your attention.